Good morning, family, friends, and folks. I'm Suzanne Irene, and inspiration is the theme of my YouTube channel. I hope if you like this content that you let YouTube know that you'd like to see more of it and support it by hitting subscribe and like and all that jazz. I'm excited to tell you today about a woman by the name of Theresa Hickey. Theresa Hickey, and her maiden name was Connellan, is remembered by Theresa's daughter, Bonnie Caldwell, nee Hickey. Bridget Theresa Connellan was born in Lisrow, County Clare, Ireland on April 27, 1908, to Jonathan and Michael Connellan. Michael Connellan was a magistrate, a farmer, and a store owner, and Theresa was one of 9 children. Common practice in the 1900s was that Irish citizens would immigrate to the United States seeking greater economic opportunities. And it would seem that Theresa was no exception. What's really fascinating is that she set out at the young age of 15. And she set sail from the Cove of Cork, Queenstown, aboard the Samaria of Connellan. She marked her 16th birthday in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and thus was on her way to Ellis Island. Sadly, she was never to see her parents again. Theresa's sister, Mary Ellen, she had made the same journey just a few years earlier, and so she settled into life with her relatives in Rochester. That is where Theresa met Matt Hickey, after arriving not only very long after she arrived in America. A few years later, they were married, and they were married in Philadelphia. Theresa and Matt had 2 children before deciding to move to Matt's birthplace on Hickey on Hickey Hill in Herschel Township. Theresa and Matt had an additional 9 children. They settled on 300 acres just south of Maynooth, and it's also known, it was later to be called Hickey's Road East. Theresa had big gardens. She picked berries, apples. She canned much food and preserved much foods, and when she made loaves of bread, it was 24 at a time in a wood cook stove, all to keep her family fed. She was an excellent seamstress, and she made children's clothes, not to mention many quilts to keep the family warm in the cold winters. Theresa continued her life in this manner and way, living beautifully until she passed away at her home in Maynooth on March 7th in 1993. And she was then at the age of 84. Her children were by her side, and she is interned at St. Ignatius Cemetery in Maynooth with Matt, who passed away January 31st, previously in 1971. At the time of her death, Theresa had 53 grandchildren and 41 great-grandchildren. And this is noted to be a wonderful legacy for a young Irish immigrant. So thank you, Theresa. It is very beautiful, thank you, Bonnie. It's very beautiful to hear of Theresa's legacy and to have that shared with us. And the recipe is Mum Hickey's applesauce cake. So it sounds really good. And I see here that she has floured if you choose to have chopped dates, and that's so that they don't sink to the bottom. And so if that's not a tip you don't know yet, there is one for the books. So this is the continuation of the honoring of the women of North Hastings. So thank you for joining me this morning, and we'll meet again when we lift another woman who in our area has created a lifestyle that we all have the privilege of enjoying.